much for your time this afternoon. My name is Lillian Mulikanen and this is Citizen Live at 1. Armed raiders attacked Pandanguo village in Lamu County last night and torched 2 school buildings before making away with an assortment of medicine and foodstuff. 6 Kenya police reservists lost their rifles to the attackers. A preliminary assessment by security forces points to a possible collaboration between the Al-Shabaab and the local outlawed MRC, who desperately needed supplies, having been cut off by the ongoing security operations. Deputy Police Boss Samuel Arachi, who toured the area, said security agents are in pursuit of the bandits, who locals say are heavily armed with sophisticated weapons. The attackers are said to have disappeared into the thick of the vast Boni forest.
Walikuwa na bunduki aina ya AK-47, alafu kuna zingine ilikuwa imetatiwa risasi ina kamba, na kuna zingine imekaa aina ya pipe, alafu kuna kitu imekaa kama boya wanaidunga huku juu. Sasa tujui hiyo kitu ni kitu gani, kama ni bomu, kama ni kitu kingine, sisi hatuelewi hapa.
Their interest seem to have been this time round to collect foodstuffs, because we've told they have picked maize meal, sufurias for cooking the same. They harvested some maize from a maize plantation, and the footsteps are leading towards a forest, a large forest which is Boni, which is quite a vast area of forest, ranging for about 80 kilometers by 100 kilometers square. It's a vast area.
The government is doing what it can to apprehend them. We've increased the security forces around here. We have the GSU, we have the RDU, we have the normal police, and we have the APs, we have the border patrol unit. We also have the military with us, and we are pursuing them.
And Kendago Obadia has been following the situation in Lamu County and now joins us on a phone for an update on what exactly the situation is there following this recent development. Kendago.
Yes, Lillian Muri, I can hear you.
Hello, Kendago. I spoke to you yesterday just at about this time, and you reported that the situation, though tense, was under control, that security had been beefed up in the area. And now with this latest development, what can you tell us about the situation where you are at as of now?
Well, Lillian, to tell you the truth, this is a very, very delicate situation here. These attackers seem to be monitoring the movements of security officers, because if you look at the place where they've attacked this time around, it is quite vast and right deep into the area, moving towards the border. There is a thick forest that is Boni forest, and that, as you heard earlier on, it stretches about 100 by 100 kilometers square. That is a thick and vast one, and that is where the villagers and the residents are saying that these people may have come from there. But again, it is a changing face of these attacks. And you heard yesterday a security officer saying that the difficulty they are having is because these bandits seem to be changing tact. But the new development here is, and that has not been ruled out by the security forces here, because I talked to Samuel Arachi, who is the Deputy Inspector General of Police in charge of this operation here. And he says they are not going to rule out Al-Shabaab completely, because there seems to be collaboration between the Al-Shabaab and MRC, who are now guiding them on the hot spots or the spots to be able to attack. And that has made it so difficult. That one, coupled with the difficult terrain here, has also complicated operations for Lillian.
Right, and Kendago, also we understand that the assailants made away with an assortment of medicine and foodstuff. And yesterday you had mentioned that a number of people, actually a lot of people, have been displaced and are seeking refuge in the government prisons and what have you. So these people and these attackers, where exactly were they taking these foodstuffs? Was the food for them, or was it for the displaced persons?
As I told you, that this is another changing phase, Lillian. If you see armed bandits coming to pick foodstuffs and medicine, it tells you that there could be a camp somewhere within the forest. There could be a training camp that has been alluded by the locals who are saying it looks like there is some training camp deep into the forest where they are running out of ammunition, they are running out of foodstuff, they are running out of medicine, and so the only way they could do it is do a kind of a scare to the locals and pick whatever they can find to add into their supplies. That is the indicator that shows that this is not just villagers here. This is not just an issue to do with land or tribal issues. It looks like there is some collaboration with the Al-Shabaab, because the MRC has been seeking help from Al-Shabaab to be able to advance their own interests here. And so Al-Shabaab might be helping them with weapons, and as they also assist the Al-Shabaab to access some of the spots they need here. So that is just a preliminary assessment by the security forces here, who are now pointing that there must be a camp somewhere within the forest, and they have now moved into the forest. They are saying that they will be combing through the forest to see whether they can find any leads that can lead them to where these attackers may be hiding.
Yeah, and Kendago, as we wind up, yesterday I saw the Deputy President tweet and say that there'd been some headway and that some illegal firearms had been recovered in the area. So the government really looking like it's on top of this situation. But then again, with yesterday's development, clearly the situation still needing a lot of security intervention from the government.
It is true that there is heavy presence of security here, Lillian, and an indicator looking at where this last night's attack happened, it's quite deep and far away from where security could access so easily because of the terrain and roads, bad roads leading there. And you can see people who have been blocked, who have been kept at bay. And the only thing they could do is just sneak into a village, run away with a few items that could help them survive as they continue fighting with the Kenyan security forces. That is an indicator that they've been kept away. They cannot access supplies, and so the only way they can do it is come and pick from helpless residents. And it's quite true that they have been recovering. They recovered yesterday about 10 firearms and around 40 rounds of ammunition. And then the 2 suspects were arrested, that is in Lamu Ranch, and we're being told by security forces here that they are using the already arrested suspects to give them some leads to be able to arrest more and be able to control the situation. Right now, we cannot say that the situation has been completely taken control of, because you can still see this kind of incidents here and there happening, and fears. People are still in the camps. People are fearing to go back to their houses. That tells you that the situation is still delicate. But of course, with the security forces here now, it is, well, we can say that they are doing as much as they can to control the situation, Lillian.
Thank you for that, Kendago Obadia. And Kendago, of course, will be updating us on the latest going-ons out there in Lamu County, where he says currently it is a delicate situation. Of course, this coming after armed raiders attacked a village there called Pandanguo last night and torched 2 school buildings before making away with an assortment of medicine and food stuff. And let's move on. Tension has hit some parts of North Coast in Mombasa County after residents woke up to discover that some houses had been marked out, triggering fears this could be in readiness for possible attacks. Local leaders have, however, downplayed the action, saying the marking was done by garbage collectors to identify their clients.
A spot check by Citizen Television in some parts of North Coast established that some houses indeed bore some marks.
Ndio nauliza, wamesema wanaweka X kwa nyumba zenye wamechukua takataka zenye hawajachukua. Mbona wanaweka watu wa bara? Kwani Waswahili watumii hizo takataka? Lazima uishi kwa wasiwasi juu hujui kama kesho ni kwako ama itakuwa vipi.
Security officials in the area, including Kiembeni Community Policing Chairman Ali Omar Mvua, however, maintained that the houses were marked by garbage collectors in some parts of North Coast, including Kiembeni, only to identify their clients and had nothing to do with security threats.
Tukachunguza hizo X, kweli tukakuta zimepigwa X, lakini tulipochunguza tukakuta ni hawa vijana ambao huwa wanakusanya takataka wakaenda kitupa. Huwa wana zile nyumba, sasa ziko grupu 3 zinachukua hizo takataka zikienda. Tukachunguza tukapata wale vijana wakasema ni sisi garbage collection ambao sisi ndio huwa tunafanya, lakini tumesema wacha tuzi identify nyumba zetu, lakini sio kwati ni wahalifu wamefanya hiyo kazi.
Na tulete amani, tuombe Mungu nchi yetu.
This comes as Mombasa Governor Ali Hassan Joho expressed concerns over rising insecurity in the county, adding that despite his government having donated 26 security vehicles to the state to beef up security in the county, the situation was getting worse by the day.
Kwa muda sasa katika Mombasa yetu karibu kila siku mtu mmoja anapigwa risasi. Karibu kila siku. Awe Majengo, awe Ganjoni, awe Bamburi, kila siku kuna mtu mmoja amevamiwa katika kaunti yetu.
Nitakwenda kuulizwa na Mwenyezi Mungu, ulipewa kiti cha kina mama, je, ulikuwa mwadilifu? Je, ulifanya utetezi? Je, ulizungumzia masuala yao yanayowahusu? Sawa sawa.
Mtu yoyote ambaye atatusaidia kutafuta, nasikia ni vijana 3 ambao wanapiga watu risasi Mombasa na wanatembea na pikipiki. Mtu yoyote ambaye atatusaidia vijana hawa wapatikane, aidha washikwe na polisi ama wapambane na polisi risasi kwa risasi, ni wao kwa wao, sivyo? Mimi kama governor nitamzawadia shilingi 500,000. Atakayeleta information ya kushika wale watu, akija kwangu kabla Ramadhani ishe, nitampatia shilingi 500,000 tuokoe maisha ya wengine wasiingie mikono yao kwa sababu wanapiga watu risasi.
Police are conducting massive security operations in several parts of the coast, including in Lamu, to deal with security threats that have in the recent past claimed over 70 lives.
President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto are expected in Nandi County shortly. The president will open the Kipchabo Tea Factory and address a public meeting at Kipchabo Primary School. Francis Kashuri now joins us with the details. Francis?
Yes, Lillian.
Francis, the president expected in Nandi County. Apart from him opening the tea factory, what else are we expecting to see in his program today?
Thank you, and a good afternoon to you, Lillian, and to all our viewers. Indeed, President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy William Ruto are expected at Kipchabo Tea Factory in Mgwen constituency, Nandi County, to officially open that factory. Remember, tea farming is one of the main economic activities in Nandi County and this part of the country, that is part of the Rift Valley region. And of course, shortly after opening the Kipchabo Tea Factory, they will be heading to Kipchabo Primary School in the neighborhood for a public meeting. And of course, this is where you expect quite a number of things to come out. Remember, Mgwen constituency is neighbor to Nandi Hills constituency that is represented in Parliament by Alfred Keter. And you remember, Alfred Keter has been a firebrand member of Parliament who has been very vocal in his criticism of the Jubilee coalition and the President Uhuru Kenyatta's government, of course raising quite a number of issues. And of course, some of the Jubilee coalition members of Parliament terming him a hireling of some disgruntled contractors. Basically, internal politics in the Jubilee coalition expected to come up. And remember, this week has been quite heavy politically in the country. The Saba Saba rally on Monday, and the president has not yet commented on the Saba Saba activities by the opposition coalition code. So we also expect the president to maybe comment on the goings-on in the country politically and also a government development agenda, not only in Nandi County but basically across the country. So, Lillian, that's basically what we expect. But later on in the evening, the president will be heading to Kakamega County. He's expected to host members of the Muslim community, their leaders, and members for Iftar, the dinner in the evening at Kakamega State Lodge, and then thereafter he'll be coming back to Nairobi tomorrow. So basically, politics we expect to be quite high here in Nandi County, and of course later on when the president goes to Kakamega. Remember, Mgwen constituency is represented in Parliament by Alex Kosgei, son to former cabinet minister Henry Kosgei, and so we expect to hear basically what they will have to say in terms of the development agenda for the county and basically across the country, Lillian.
Right, that is Francis Gachuri. Thank you so much, Francis Gachuri, for that. And he will be continuing to update us on exactly the issues the president and his deputy will be addressing at the rally later on today in Nandi County. Members of county assemblies risk losing their allowances following allegations of continued extravagance leveled against them. The chair of the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, Sarah Serem, says the MCAs are particularly misusing public funds through foreign trips, which they do not account for. MCAs have come under sharp criticism following recent revelations by the Controller of Budget of at least $2 billion that was spent by MCAs on foreign trips last year.
County Assembly members have taken their extravagance to the next level barely 8 months after their salaries were reviewed upwards by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. While the salary increment was meant to motivate the MCAs to perform their functions efficiently, the MCAs are instead said to be overspending on foreign trips and earning extra sitting and travel allowances. The SRC says it has so far conducted an independence compliance survey on 16 counties and has discovered that MCAs have even gone to the extent of hiring extra personnel outside any policy guidelines.
We've known that in certain counties, an MCA is recruiting 6, and we have others that are recruiting up till between 4 and 10 per MCA. The interesting bit about this is they're not within the establishment structure of the county. It's something that is an agreement between the assembly and the specific MCAs.
A report by the Controller of Budget last month revealed that a county assembly member in each of the 47 counties has been taking home a minimum of 200,000 shillings in sitting allowances every month. This allowance is what the SRC says it's now thinking of abolishing amid continued wastage by MCAs.
And if need be, considering the level of abuse, truly we will not shy from abolishing such allowances that lend themselves to misuse of public funds intended for service delivery to the people of Kenya.
The Salaries and Remuneration Commission says it will complete its independence compliance survey by end of this month, which will then inform the new allowance structure for public service employees. Bella Genga, Citizen Live at 1.
And it's time for us to take a very quick break now, and we'll be right back. Don't go away.